Welcome back. Curbing the spread of coronavirus. Breaking overnight, President Trump is announcing an executive order which will halt immigration into the United States. In a late-night tweet, the president wrote this: "In light of the attack from the invisible enemy, as well as the need to protect the jobs of our great American citizens, I'll be signing an executive order to temporarily suspend immigration into the United States." The backlash from Democrats almost immediately. Senator Kamala Harris, for example, accused the president of using the pandemic to, quote, double down on his anti-immigration agenda. Mattie Duppler, weigh in here.
Well, Maria, we don't know what this executive order will look like yet. The president's ability to restrict immigration is somewhat limited. Maybe he's going to suspend certain types of visas. Maybe he's going to close off the borders entirely. Definitely what the president did, the action he took to make sure that we had fewer people coming in from China was huge in stemming the spread of the virus in California, and probably contributed to what we see in New York, people coming in from Europe being able to spread the virus without any restrictions there. However, I think that the administration should be careful. The president has certainly sent the message with his tax cuts, with his deregulatory agenda, that the country is open for business. Closing down our borders to immigration could send that opposite message and ultimately stem the ability of the economy to get back online. So I think the administration needs to be very careful in how they execute this order.
Well, Maria?
Dagan, what do you think? I mean, this temporary suspension is coming as the existing travel bans are still in place. There's a ban on China, Europe, South Korea that remains standing.
Exactly. That was the point that I was going to make before people's hair catches on fire over this tweet and this executive order. Even without this executive order, the administration has all but stopped nearly every form of immigration coming into this country. Most visa processing has been stopped, meaning almost no one can apply for a visa to visit or move to the United States right now. This is all in the Wall Street Journal's reporting. Visa interviews and citizenship ceremonies have been postponed. The refugee program paused. Migrants crossing the border get immediately sent back if they're found. But to Mattie's point, this executive order is expected to include exceptions for migrant farm workers, so the food supply remains safe, and also healthcare workers, particularly those helping treat coronavirus patients. But again, there's always this people who, you know, their go-to is to hate the president. It's always this overreaction. So the devil is in the details, and the details show you some people will still be coming into the United States if we need them here on the job. And then basically immigration's already shut down as we try to fight this deadly virus.
A friend of mine said to me the other day, she lives in Italy, and Maria, when do you think I'll be able to travel to the United States again? And it got me thinking about it. You have to expect that the last thing that's going to come back in terms of reopening the economy is international travel. I mean, the last thing, because look at what's going on in Italy in terms of coronavirus and away from the United States. That you don't want to have people coming in from other countries to just, you know, start up and flare up coronavirus and the cases start going up again, right?
Right. And
that's the whole point.
And in New York City, much of the cases of this virus came from Europe. In fact, so if there is a fear about tourists pouring back into the United States, I think that is an absolutely legitimate one as we try to get our arms around fighting the virus on our shores.
Can I jump in here, Maria?
Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. So, I mean, the president's tweet said he was cutting off immigration to protect American jobs. I mean, I think that sounds politically appealing to a lot of people, but I just want to say cracking down on immigration is not in America's long-term interest. In order to get the economy growing, our advantage over countries like Japan is a growing, thriving population. And, you know, it might sound appealing on the short term to cut back on immigration, but we need population growth. We need people coming into this country to get this economy growing in the long run. And I hope people don't lose perspective on that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think this is about a pandemic that we're in the middle of.
No, but he says he's doing it to protect jobs.
We're in the middle of a pandemic.
But he says he's doing it to protect jobs, not for health reasons, about job reasons. And I think, so he's framing it as an economic question, and it is not in the economy's long-run interest to cut off immigration.
Yeah.
You know, we have a long history of it. We've cut off. we've cracked back on immigration from Italy, from China, from Japan, from Mexico, over 200 years of history. It's not in our long-run interest.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we've got to get into the PPP program. That is the paycheck program. The money apparently on the